Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. I am your host, Lorna, certified food freedom coach and founder of the Ditch Decade Diets Academy. I've spent 10 years in an unhealthy relationship with food, binge eating, over-exercising, and feeling insecure in my body. This podcast is all about helping you get to the root of your food struggles and teaching you how to rewire your brain so you can end binge eating. If you're ready to improve your relationship with food and cultivate more self-love towards yourself and your health, this is the podcast for you. So let's get to it and jump right in. Hello, you guys. I am so excited because I am celebrating one of my clients who hasn't binged in 5 weeks, you guys. Hello, everybody. Hello. And I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because she is one of the clients that she came in, she started working with me. And she's just one of those people that anytime I make a recommendation of, hey, you should try this tool, hey, you should try this, she goes and she implements. And people like that, when you get feedback, hey, you should try this, hey, use this tool to help you become less impulsive with food, hey, you should do this to have less urges, hey, you should do this to stop when you're full, and she goes and she implements, like that is how she's been able to see incredible results. 5 weeks binge free. And it was so funny. She popped on the call and I'm going to share with you guys exactly what she did so you can start implementing this. But she popped on one of our coaching calls. She popped on a coaching call. This is one of my clients. And she was like, oh yeah, just like so casually. She's like, everything's going well. Yeah, I haven't binged in 5 minutes. Like, let's just back up. Like, I'm going to celebrate the crap out of you because you guys know, like, not binging for 5 weeks is a big deal, okay? Not binging for a week is great. Not binging for 2 weeks is awesome. Not binging for 3 weeks is amazing. Not binging for 5 weeks is incredible. So I'm so excited. And there's really 3 things that she focused on to help her get to this point where she hasn't binged in 5 weeks. And I want to walk you through those 3 things. So the first thing that she's really been focusing on, she has been allowing herself to eat what she wants. This does not mean throw your health out the window. This does not mean she's not caring about her health. This is the biggest misconception. Well, Lorna, if I just eat whatever I want, then I'm not going to care about my health and I'm going to gain 1 million pounds. That's not what this client is doing. What I mean by she is allowing herself to eat what she wants is she is eating her regular meals throughout the day, right? She enjoys eating healthy. She obviously wants to have energy. She wants to feel good in her own skin. She wants to be in a good mood, like all the things. So she's eating her regular meals. But if she's craving some chocolate, she's going to have the chocolate. If she's craving something, she's going to honor that craving. So that is what I mean when she's allowing herself to eat what she wants. If she has a craving for chocolate, she's not saying, oh, well, I can't because I don't trust myself. Well, it's going to spiral into a binge. No. And this is where so many people are kind of getting things wrong a little bit, because most people are so afraid. You might be right now, and you can let me know if this is you. You right now might be afraid to honor your cravings because every time you honor your cravings, it might spiral you into a binge. And for a lot of people, they'll experience this. Well, I honored my craving for chocolate and then I couldn't stop eating. Well, I had a cookie and then I ended up eating the whole box, right? But with a combination of healing your relationship with food and taking this food off of a pedestal, you're going to be able to honor your cravings without binging. And ironically, you're actually going to have less binges. Ironically, you're going to have less urges. And ironically, you're even going to have less cravings. Cravings aren't bad. But when you actually just allow yourself, Isabella, I'm going to say cookie. When you allow yourself to have a cookie, when you allow yourself to have chocolate, yeah, maybe the first few times you binge. Because again, this food is still on a pedestal, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't had this food in so long. So maybe the first few times that you binge, but you can't give up after that. There's a process. But if you know that there's no foods off limits and you could have it today and tomorrow and the next day, then what ends up happening is you're like, well, do I even want it? Not really today. And you think, oh, that's not going to happen for me. It will. It will. If you have 50 trigger foods, you expose yourself one at a time. Yes, there's a process. You got to take things step by step. Because if you know that it's triggering for you and you go to the grocery store and you buy chocolate brownies, cookies, ice cream, of course, that's probably not going to be a good situation. So that is the first thing that she did. She is allowing herself to eat what she wants. Again, this is not a free-for-all. She's not eating junk all day. That's like the biggest misconception, you guys. She is eating her regular meals, eating meals that make her feel good. She's getting in her proteins, her vitamins, her minerals, her vegetables, her carbs, all those foods that make her feel really good. But she's honoring her cravings. If she's wanting something sweet, she will have it without guilt. And that is going to be very helpful in helping you have less urges. Okay. The second thing that she has been doing to get to a point where she hasn't binged in 5 weeks is she has been creating a pattern interrupt every single time she felt an urge to binge. So what I mean by a pattern interrupt, there's a few that I teach, but the one that she tried out was she would set a timer on her phone when she felt the urge to binge, and she would tell herself, okay, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however long it is. And when this timer goes off, I can eat. When the timer goes off. And she actually realized after the timer went off, she's like, I actually don't even want anything. Like the urge dissipated. And I want to be clear, this is not setting a timer when you're hungry. This is not setting a timer for a craving. This is when you feel the urge. There's a difference between hunger, a craving, and an urge to binge. So when she would feel that urge to binge, she would give herself 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And she's like, I actually, when the timer went off, like I didn't even want anything, because the urge will dissipate. The urge does not get stronger over time unless you're not honoring your cravings. So she would set a timer and she's like, I don't even want anything. Like I actually didn't even want anything. Like the urge just kind of went away. So this is a powerful pattern interrupt. And it's so powerful because you're not saying don't eat. You're not saying you can't eat. Because the moment you tell yourself that, you're just going to binge on everything. So she's like, no, I'm feeling an urge right now. I know that if I just give in right away, I'm strengthening the neural pathways in my brain. I don't want to keep on binging. So if I feel the urge to binge, I don't want to give in right away. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes. I'm going to give myself 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm going to check in with how I feel. And if you do this, you'll start to recognize like the urge goes away. It's a great tool, but can you offer advice to how to get rid of your urges? Such a good question. My program, Stop the Urge, teaches you exactly how to get rid of your urges. But what I will say is the more times you don't give into the urge, the weaker the urge will become. Sorry, the weaker the urge will become. So the more times that you don't give into those urges, the urge becomes less intense. So guess what? The next urge is going to be less intense. The next urge is going to be less intense. And eventually you stop feeling the urge to binge. So that is a very powerful way of slowly starting to get rid of your urges, is by not giving in, and even creating that time. Even if you do give in after 20 minutes or 30 minutes, hey, Monique, it's way better than feeling the urge and give in. Because you feel the urge and you give in, that urge becomes stronger. You feel the urge and you give in, your brain signals, every time I have this uncomfortable urge, I must give in order for me to feel comfort and relief. And that's not true. right? There's so many other ways that you can experience comfort and relief. And the reality is there's a part of your brain that's like, don't do it. And there's another part of your brain that's just like one last time. And if you can really find that resilience in you to remind yourself, like what you actually want for yourself is to be free from binge eating for good. And the short burst of comfort that you experience not giving in is going to be way greater than the short burst of comfort actually giving in. If you can remind yourself of that, it's going to be easier for you to not give in to your urges. So that was the second thing she did. So the first thing that she did, yes, one last time. I remember after my binges, I would look at myself in the mirror and I would literally promise to myself, you are never going to do that. This was the very last time. How many of you guys have done that? Like just one last time. I remember telling myself one last time. And then the next day would come and I felt fine again. And I'm like, oh, I remember how good those chocolate chip pancakes sounded. Yeah, those are so good. Okay, just one more time. Or I'm home alone. So obviously I'm going to take this opportunity to eat because I'm home alone. Every time I have an urge, I try not to eat and then go hours without eating and binge even worse. Yeah, well, that happens because you're trying to fight against your urges. There's nothing wrong with eating, but you have to regulate your nervous system first. When you regulate your nervous system and you give yourself time, you're less impulsive. So then when you do go and eat, you can eat without impulse. Not just trying to not eat is not the solution because they're going to be hangry. And then of course you're going to spiral into a binge. So the first thing that she did was, this is my client. She hasn't binged in 5 weeks. The first thing that she did was she's been allowing herself to eat what she wants. So she's been really honoring her cravings. The second thing is she's been creating that pattern interrupt, right? She's been allowing herself to check in with herself after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, when that urge came to kind of see like, hey, do you still want it? Are you hungry? Is it an urge? So she would really just check in with herself and recognize like the urge is gone. Like, I don't feel the urge anymore. I don't feel this need to eat anything because she gave herself time and space and distance between feeling the urge and giving it. Okay. Now, the third thing that helped her not binge for over 5 weeks is she has been solely focusing on her relationship with food. So what I mean by this is this particular client has weight loss goals. This particular client wants to feel incredible in her own skin. And she's been able to reach her health and fitness goals and not binge for 5 weeks because, ironically, she's not focusing on weight loss. Too many people focus on weight loss. But weight loss doesn't fix your relationship with food. Weight loss doesn't get rid of your urges. Weight loss doesn't help you become less impulsive with food. Weight loss doesn't help you feel less guilty around food. Weight loss doesn't rewire your brain out of these habitual cycles. So this particular client, although she has weight loss goals, she wants to feel comfortable in her own skin. She wants to be able to lose weight. She wants to be able to feel good in her own skin. That's not her main focus. Her main focus, she's working with me because she wants to stop her binge eating. She wants to heal her relationship with food. So she's focusing on that first and foremost. And that's why she's getting great results, because she's willing to do what it takes to heal her relationship with food. It's not that she doesn't care about her body, it's not that she doesn't care about her health and fitness goals. She's just putting her priority on her relationship with food. And you guys, this is what happens. You prioritize your relationship with food, you stop your binging, and your weight will take care of itself. You're going to have less urges. You're going to feel way better in your own skin. You're going to be thinking about food less. Like, she's like, I don't even think about food. Like, I'm hungry. Okay, I'm just going to eat. But this would not happen if you're spending all day looking at the number on the scale, tracking your macros, and trying to focus on weight loss. I'm not opposed to you having weight loss goals. You're allowed to have weight loss goals. But when you just focus on your weight, you're going to stay stuck in the diet binge cycle. This client came to me so beyond ready to heal her relationship with food. Every time she came on a coaching call and I would recommend a specific tool for her to use, she would do it. Hey, you know what? You're going to start honoring your cravings. She started honoring her cravings. She had less urges. It's been 5 weeks since she's binged, and she's feeling really good in her own skin. So this is so, so, so important, you guys. If you want to spend the next 5 weeks, how many of you guys would love to be binge free in the next 5 weeks? You're like, that would be amazing. And not just 5 weeks, like 5 weeks and beyond, but like that's a start. If you want to spend the next 5 weeks binge free, honor your cravings. Honor your cravings. Practice not giving into your urges, and fully prioritize healing your relationship with food. Those are 3 key components. Honoring your cravings, don't give into your urges, and really prioritize healing your relationship with food. Like, go all in with healing your relationship with food. First and foremost, that's most important. Everything else will fall into play. So this is exactly what I supported my client with. This is exactly what my client focused on. Again, as a recap, number 1, she's been allowing herself to eat what she wants, aka honor her cravings. Number 2, she hasn't been giving into her urges. She's been practicing a pattern interrupt. And number 3, first and foremost, prioritizing her relationship with food above it all. This is it. I think people believe ending binge eating is so much harder than it actually is. Like, when you have the right tools and you implement and you have the proper support, it actually doesn't have to take a long time. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And it's not like you're just gonna stop binge eating for a day. Like, you can maintain this long term when you do things sustainably. When you do things sustainably. I get so many messages from my clients like, I've never been happier. I don't want to just help you stop binge eating. I want you to be happy. I want you to feel so damn good in your own skin. I want you to have less urges. I want you to be able to eat cookies without impulse. I want you to feel so damn good in your own skin, achieve your health and fitness goals, feel so good in your own skin while ending your binge eating, and be happy. You get to have it all. You get to literally have it all. So you can go implement these 3 things right now. If you need support, you're like, but I don't know, like, is it a craving? Is it an urge? Like, should I give in? Should I not give in? Like, what do I do to get rid of my urges? That's what I'm here for. You always can message me on my Instagram, and I can share the different programs that I have, different ways I can support you. You don't have to try to figure this out on your own. This client came to me. She's like, I don't want to try to figure this out on my own. I know you've gone through it. I know you can help me. Boom, joined a program, and it's been 5 weeks since she's binged. So this is exactly what is possible for you too. When you have the right support, the right tools, you have a community, you have accountability, you have support, this will change everything for you. So celebrating this client, but also celebrating all of you guys who are going to take the next 5 weeks to also be binge free. Like, how exciting is that? Like, even just like me sharing that, I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. So thank you guys for being here. Go implement. I'm here if you're ready to do this with me to make your next 5 weeks binge free and beyond. Like, I'm talking a binge for a year. I'm here to support you. So have an amazing rest of your day, you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye.